This was a really good day to go to Disney. Watched the wait times when I got up, and about a little bit before 10 I realized it was going to be a good slow day at Disney. This was Sunday, July 6th, so the 4th of July crowds were headed out. Gave us that one day little window we sometimes get where there's not really bad crowds. So check the wait times. Hollywood looked really good that day. Super low wait times. Didn't seem to be a lot of people there. The parking lot was mostly empty when I got there. So hopped on over, got in quickly, walked around the park, ended up in Galaxy's Edge. Didn't have a plan, but really just like going back here and looking around. I get a lot of pictures when I'm there. Just phenomenal sights to see. And when the crowds are low, you can really just move around and get stuff without too many people in the background. So it was a good day. The wait time for Rise was super low. I think it was posted at 35 minutes when I got in line. But I was able to get completely through the queue, through the entire ride, and off in less than 35 minutes. So it really worked out well to hit Rise. This is definitely my favorite part of the ride. When you walk off of the shuttle and you're in the hangar bay, it's just an incredible sight. And one of my favorite things to do is watch around me and see who I think hasn't been on the ride before. And you'll know pretty quickly because they won't be looking at where the next scene happens, and then when it does happen, they're like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. That's pretty cool. I was a single rider, but I decided to go through the full queue just because the wait time was so low and I like seeing all parts of it. Also, one of the things to remember with single rider is it's not always a short wait. It kind of depends on how many people are in the single rider line and how many are going through the regular queue. So kind of a bit of advice is learn the rides. Usually like something like Rock and Roller Coaster, I never do single rider there because it's probably one of the worst ones. Rides can be really good. Probably in all the parks, the best single rider is actually Remy over in Epcot. So might hop over there later and check that out as well. Wanted to get a quick lunch at Hollywood, and sometimes when I'm on the go, don't want to eat too much, so a good choice is like a kid's meal. So I did a kid's ham and cheese at ABC Commissary and threw on a cheesecake just for good measure. Then hopped over to the new Villain show. I hadn't seen it before, so I was really impressed. I'll definitely be back to see it again and again. And not to throw any spoilers out there, but there's different endings that can happen to the show, and I think just based on that fact, it's worth going back and seeing a few more times just to try to see the different endings. One of the coolest things I saw during that show was the smoke bubbles, though. It happened during the Cruella de Vil part, and the smoke bubbles, I don't know, that was just something I said, I really like that. And the way they just kind of popped on the floor, you could catch them in your hand and pop them, and the smoke drifted out. Just a really cool touch. I decided to go to Animal Kingdom next. It's a pretty straight shot from Hollywood Studios to Animal Kingdom if you're driving, and I almost always drive to the parks. I can get in and out quicker, even if I have to park way in the back and take either the tram or walk. It's still quicker than taking Disney transportation, just to me, and that's probably because I go a lot and I know the roads and I can get in and out quickly. Traffic is really not bad, except at certain peak times, and you'll only really run into traffic jams really at the toll booths for each park, and that's only like at park opening and times like that when everybody's trying to come in at the same time. So today I'd left a little bit later. I didn't get there till after 10 o'clock, and it was really easy for me to get into Hollywood. I got lucky and got the park way up close in the Mickey lot. When I got to Animal Kingdom, of course, nobody's trying to get in at noon to Animal Kingdom, so I breezed right in. Then, because the parking kind of clears out a little bit as the day goes on and Animal Kingdom opens early, they were actually filling in spots, and got super lucky here and parked in the Unicorn lot, which is about as close to the entrance as you can get in park. And I definitely walked in from there. I didn't take the tram, not from this prime parking spot here. It was pretty easy to get into Animal Kingdom. Nobody really waiting to get in at this time of day, so just breeze through. Headed over to Asia and rode Mount Everest. I did do single rider line on that. There was probably maybe a 15-minute wait, but wanted to kind of get ahead of the day and make sure I had plenty of time to do the other stuff I wanted to do. Expedition Everest, such a cool ride. Never get tired of riding this. Closer to the front, the better. And if you wait in the full queue, you can request front row. Just have to wait for it. Cast members can tell you no if it's close to closing time. They might not let you go to the front of the ride then, but if you get there during normal hours, you can always request front of the ride. And you can see a lot when you stop at the very top. You can see Epcot, you can see a lot of the resorts, and you can even see Tower of Terror over at Hollywood Studios. After riding Everest, decided to head to the back of the park and hop on the safari. It'd actually been quite a while since I'd ridden the safari. Nice relaxing ride. It was a good day for the giraffes. They were pretty much out and close to the vehicles, pretty much everywhere. My actual favorite part of the whole ride though is the warden's house, and the goats are just always such a fun animal to watch. They kind of knock each other off the truck, run around. Just a cool little scene there. I decided to head over to Epcot next. Couldn't help but notice how beautiful the sky was. Just fluffy white clouds, beautiful blue sky. It's a good change from all the rain we've had lately. Leaving the unicorn lot at Animal Kingdom. Pretty simple, just come right out and hit the main exit. I know everybody feels like Animal Kingdom's like way across property from everything else, and it kind of is out there by itself, but it's really not that far a drive. Once you get used to the roads, and if you're timing it right where there's very little traffic, I mean, you can go from one part to the other in just a few minutes. I think it probably takes me no more than 10 minutes to get all the way across property. I will say this about Epcot's toll plaza. There's always cars going in, no matter what time of day. Definitely a lot busier in the mornings, but I don't think I've ever been there and it been an empty toll plaza. There's always somebody coming into Epcot. I think part of that has to do with the parking lot there. It's actually got the best parking lot of all the parks in my opinion, and the fact that you can hop on the monorail there, go all the way to Magic Kingdom and do a lot of other stuff there. End up parking in Crush, not too far back. End up parking in Dory and Crush most of the time when I go there during the day, which is fine. That's a short walk to the entrance. Checking the wait times at Epcot, Remy was about 40 minutes, which is relatively low for it. But I still decided to get through as quick as I could and decided to hop in the single rider line. Single rider line for Remy is probably the best single rider line at any of the Disney parks. To get into the ride it, and completely off, maybe 15 minutes total. Remy is a ride I really don't ride that often. I just don't like the 3D effects on it. The practical sets are probably my favorite part. But when I'm at Epcot, there's so many other things to do that Remy's kind of like, if the line was really short, I might hop in it. After Remy decided to cool off, get a drink and a little bite to eat, so went to the Regal Eagle and ordered my favorite there, the Tiana's banana pudding, and it was spot on. It is my favorite thing to eat there as far as a dessert. Food there is really good too, and I'll hit it occasionally. I didn't know it till I got there, but they've actually got a concert series on the big stage at the American Pavilion, and Command Performance, which is usually performed in a small little gazebo over in the United Kingdom section of Epcot, they're on the big stage for pretty much the entire month of July. I think they said they'd be there 3 weeks. So I don't know exactly when it ends, but you can catch Command Performance on the big stage. And if you haven't seen them play, they're really, really good. They play a mix of 70s, 80s, and 90s rock. So a lot of stuff like Queen, older stuff like Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, but all the way up into the newer stuff too, 80s and 90s. After I got done with the concert in the American Pavilion, I wanted to walk by Guardians. The line was way in the door, which is always a good sign for Guardians. I think the posted wait time was 50, but I don't think it would have been that long. I didn't ride it at this point, and the reason for that is I was still running by myself and my son would join me later. And to date, even with over 300 rides, I've never ridden Guardians without him. Now, he's ridden a lot more without me, and that's okay, but I just kind of made it our little thing that I only ride it with him because it's his favorite ride anywhere. So usually when the line is way up the ramp like that, you're probably looking at maybe 40-45 minutes to get on the ride. So not a bad line at all for Guardians. Made what I thought was the last hop of the day over to Magic Kingdom. So exiting Epcot Crush, real easy to get out. Just shoot right out. There's a couple little change arounds you got to do to get on World Drive to head to Magic Kingdom. But once you learn that little loop or two, then it's pretty simple, pretty quick and easy. I think I would advise people who are not used to Disney World driving to focus more on the Disney World signage than on their GPS. Disney World signage is just really, really good. Big clear signs pointing you in the direction that you need to go. Magic Kingdom Toll Plaza, wide open when I got there. One of the neat little things you'll learn is that later in the day, parking kind of opens up a little bit, and whereas in the mornings and early in the day, they're kind of directing you to where they want you to park. But a little bit later in the day, and especially closer to close, the last couple hours or so, they'll pretty much let you park in any spot that's open. They still put up cones, so just pay attention to the cones. Don't run over the cones, get anywhere you want. But for me, I prefer Simba a lot at the TTC for Magic Kingdom, and depending on what kind of hurry I'm in, I'll either walk around the lake, or like today, just decided timing was right, saw the boat coming in, decided I would ride the boat from the Polynesian over to Magic Kingdom. Probably my favorite boat ride on property. It's just nice, relaxing ride. I prefer the smaller boat where it's open, kind of take in the sights, the sounds, all the views. And on a day like this with blue skies and puffy white clouds that are reflecting in the water, it's just a gorgeous day to be on the water. An added bonus about taking the boat to Magic Kingdom or walking around the lake is that security checkpoint's usually a lot less busy than any of the other ones. Maybe mornings is busy, but after that it's not bad. Once I got into Magic Kingdom, checking the wait times, noticed that Tron was a 35-minute wait. Decided to hop over there and see how it went. The line was just outside the checkpoint when I got there, but it was moving pretty steadily, and that should be about a 30-minute wait there. Overall, it probably took a little bit longer. Maybe they had some delays or more people inside that you couldn't see. That reveal where they digitize you, just so cool. Definitely one of my favorite queues to walk through. I grew up in the 80s with Tron as a movie and really liked the later movie Tron Legacy. So this color scheme and the idea of the digitized worlds, pretty cool to me. Like I said, I think it took a little over 35 minutes to ride this, but hopping off, always got to stop and watch the other groups come through. The outside launch and turn on that track is just the best part of the whole ride to me. Wanted to get a little bite to eat, so went to Sleepy Hollow and ordered the corn dog. It's one of my go-tos at Magic Kingdom. Sleepy Hollow's kind of a hidden little place, not usually as busy as, say, Casey's Corner. And this was the last day of the Liberty Belle. So I decided to move over by Columbia House and sit at the outside seating so I could watch the crowds go crazy over Liberty Belle. Didn't ride it myself because I've ridden quite a few times recently, and the boat was definitely loaded down. I was trying to look at it and see if it was sitting lower in the water than it normally is, because there's a lot of people on that boat. I think I've been riding that boat since the 1970s when I went as a child. So I know I've definitely ridden it many, many times. It's a fun little ride. Nice little way to relax, just get away from the busyness of the park. I don't think I'd have wanted to been on it the last day, because I don't think it would be quite as relaxing a ride with that many people on it, elbow to elbow, all jockeying for a position to see. And that right there is the last time I will ever see the Liberty Belle make its loop around the rivers of America. A little bittersweet, but I'm definitely looking forward to the expansion and all the new stuff that will come with it. After watching the Liberty Belle one last time, decided to head out of Magic Kingdom and back to Epcot where I'd meet my son. His schedule freed up and he was able to meet me there before park close. I don't think there's a problem exiting from the parking at the TTC from either side. I do think what they call the hero side, which is where I was parked this time, where Simba, Aladdin, those lots are, is a little bit more direct. You don't have the little interchange stop coming around like you do from Villains. Also, a little side note, the gas station I use most often is actually the Speedway that is right off of this road as you exit the TTC parking lot. So that Speedway, I think they've got as good a gas prices as off property. Doesn't ever seem to be too busy, and they have an ATM for my bank inside, so if I need cash I can do that. They have a few food options and stuff inside as well, so it's not a bad little gas station, especially considering it's on Disney property. So as I mentioned before, the later in the day it gets, the more choice you have in basically where you park at each park. And Epcot, about 2 hours before closing, of course they send everybody home that's been working the parking lot all day, and they just let you come in and park in the open lot, which is usually Hey Hey or Crush. And so I'll always just kind of skip up to Hey Hey and see what's available. And not to give away my best parking spot, but usually over by the bus stops, it's almost always empty, and you get right into security coming in as if you were coming off of the buses. My son had already beat me here, so I knew about where he would park. And sure enough, there's his car. So I parked directly in front of him, facing him. Another mostly empty parking lot at Disney World. Started the day in one and ending the day in one. Now for the best ride of the day, Guardians of the Galaxy. We rode this twice. Line was very short. Got a little pixie dust from cast members along the way too, so that helped with the wait. Two really good songs, Disco Inferno first ride, and my number one favorite on the second ride, I Ran. It was actually still daylight when we decided to leave the park. Been a long day. Actually did 4 different parks with 5 park hops, twice to Epcot, and had a little bit of food during the day, but now it was time to go get a little comfort food before going home. So my son and I decided to have a little race to McDonald's on Disneyworld property. That's one of our later at night restaurants we'll hit up when we want to stay close. Not get too far away, get something to eat. I can say even when that McDonald's is very, very busy, It's never too much of a wait there. They got a very efficient operation. They do a good job. Now, if you're expecting one of those Disney videos where the people show themselves eating, yeah, not this one. While I do enjoy eating, it's one of my favorite things to do in the world, definitely don't want to put myself on camera eating what I eat at McDonald's. And just like the rest of Disney, actually McDonald's was pretty empty that night. So in all, 28,808 steps, 4 parks, 5 park hops. Really did it from about 10 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night. So what's that, 11-hour day? Not bad. Hope you enjoyed the video.